So Unit 2, Activity 7 is the culminating activity for this section. It's the second part of your culminating activity. So at the end of every unit, it's a different part that goes towards your culminating, which is 30% of your overall mark, as there is no exam in this course. So what's going to happen here is that you are going to do a bit of a minds-on piece. So think of all the different natural processes and hazards that have occurred, and then think about the area that you sort of chose in the first place, and think about what might be occurring or what could occur in that area. So here's a bunch of different processes that you could be taking a look at. And so basically you could think about, man, is there one of these processes that's sort of happening in my area? And then basically once you've sort of made some connections between the process, landscape, and a hazard, all right, you apply the knowledge to your culminating activity study area. So again, you're going to look at the process. All right, what's the group that it sort of falls into? What's the landscape or situation that's created? And then what's the natural hazard caused? From there, it gets into the action. So here it talks about opening and rereading your work on section 1, which is fine. You can do that. If you make any changes to section 1, so again, I've marked it. You're not happy perhaps with the mark that you received. You're allowed to change it and fix it up, but make sure it goes back into the original Dropbox for culminating activity section 1. Please don't put it into the section 2 Dropbox. So that's really important to think about. We're not going to keep adding these and keep dumping the Dropboxes. Each piece of the culminating is going to stay separate and into its own Dropbox. There's an exemplar here you can take a look at. So this gives you an idea of what this section of the culminating should look like. You've got section 2. You got a detailed description of the processes. Again, detailed description of the landscape and the landform characteristics. You got a detailed description of hazards that present the greatest risk to your study area. You need to make sure you have a formal map that includes historical, current, and other data showing the pattern. And then update your reference list to include sources you used when completing section 2. And there are some online tools that you can do with that. So once you've completed the responses for these 4 sections, you can save that to your portfolio. And then the work that you sort of just created from section 2, it can go into this folder right here, this Dropbox right here, and then I'll then mark that for you. And then there's a few moments if you wish to complete a survey that goes towards the people who help to develop these courses.